This comment asks, after a dog fight is broken up and everything is medically taken care of, what courses of action can be taken to prevent that from happening again? So let's talk about that. So if the dog fight is in the scenario we were discussing in the last video, an off-leash dog has run up to your dog. Even here, this can really depend on context. If the dog is apprehended and we know who the dog's people are, certainly we can discuss with the dog's owners, like what happened here? Did the dog's leash drop and this was like a terrible accident? Did the dog escape from someone's yard or rush out their front door? And again, terrible accident. And now hopefully they are paying your vet bills and putting management into place to make sure that their dog does not escape again. It's almost a best case scenario when it was an accident and we are in community with the pet parent and we can mutually work together to create a safer scenario. And this is what I encourage folks to do if it is safe for you to do so, to try to take this approach. And by safe, I don't necessarily mean comfortable. This might be wildly uncomfortable. But if it is safe for you to have this conversation, I think this is the best route. Sometimes it's not safe. Sometimes the other person is not cooperative. Here is where animal control might get further involved. Animal control may have already been called in this scenario. If not, this is the point that we might want to involve them. We want to keep documentation, keep all of your vet bills, keep a journal, note locations, times. If you see the dog off leash in your neighborhood, write that down, report it. This is not my favorite option, guys, but sometimes that's what we have to do to keep our dogs safe. The response that you can expect really might vary based on locality. I have seen some wild unresponsiveness sometimes from animal control, and certainly I have seen many scenarios where animal control is very helpful. I had one particular case, they may watch this video, hi if you are, where working with the neighbors was not an option and animal control was not helpful, despite egregious harm being done to the human in this case. That was where we brought out the coyote coats. It may also, unfortunately, mean for the safety of everyone involved, walking in different areas or at times of day that are more likely to be safe. Not fair, but it may be one of the best ways to reduce risk. If this is happening in a household, you want to keep the dogs separated at least until stress hormones come back down. I recommend a minimum of 3 days. That's physically and visually separated by at least 2 barriers. For my clients in these scenarios, these dogs are often prescribed event medication because they are, in my client population, often experiencing chronic dysregulation. And so we're using our event medication. We are canceling training sessions or stressful activities as much as we can and focusing on calming enrichment. And we are continuing to keep the dogs separated until we figure out what went wrong with management. Like, was this something like a baby gate got left open and now we recognize the importance of having at least 2 barriers? Or do we have no idea what happened, what triggered the fight? In that case, we might want to continue separation until we can identify the triggers. This is often where it's helpful to engage the help of a pet professional who specializes in intra-household aggression. As someone who specializes in intra-household aggression, I know that 3 of the key factors that tend to be involved in these cases are instances of high arousal, tight spaces, and resources, or some combination of those 3 factors. But we want to be able to predict the fights in order to prevent them. If this happened at, say, a dog park or dog daycare, same sorts of things as scenario number 1. I want to figure out what happened. Will the aggressor be returning? If so, how are we planning to keep everyone safe? Unfortunately, some dogs, after experiencing this single aversive event, or the event may be traumatic to them, may need support in feeling safe again in those spaces, or in whatever context they associated with that event. They might now be scared of other dogs, or they might just specifically be scared of huskies. And I'm just throwing a breed out there, if it was a husky. Or they may have made other associations. Maybe now they're afraid to go on walks, or there was a loud truck nearby when it happened, so now they're afraid of loud trucks. And so our dogs may need support in that way as well. It's important to meet our dogs where they are, so not force them to do things that they're scared of before they're ready to engage in them. And when they do engage in them, to help them feel safe in doing that.